We are so back.
Oh, I hope so.
Catch up!
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the PHNX Suns pregame show brought to you by Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. It has been 5 very long days without Suns basketball, but we made it, everybody. We're here. We're so back. Thank you for hanging out with us to get ready for this game. I'm Lindsay. That's Eric. That's Steven. That's Espo. Suns and Lakers for the 18th time this season.
And on another end of a back-to-back, too.
Yeah.
Last time it was the first side of a back-to-back, Lakers-Mavs. Now it's Lakers again.
Look, at least we get to see Connect tonight. You know, just like we saw in preseason.
All right, man. You had to bring that down. Come on.
Honestly, I am very surprised with how many times we've played the Lakers in the first, what feels like barely a month of the season. It has been basically a month, really. We played them twice preseason. This will be the third time already. We're 1-1 on the season series so far. Thankfully, we don't see them until, I think, March after this. Enough of the Lakers already.
Well, I mean, we'll see them like 4 times at least in the playoffs, because I feel like these two teams are destined to meet in the playoffs too, because why the hell not?
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
It's always beat LA, though, around these parts. And the best news for tonight's game is that Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal are back in action. Let's go ahead and look at the injury report for this one. Didn't bury the lead. Our boys are back. KD and Beal are available. Colin Gillespie is out, though. And then on the Lakers side of things, we've got Anthony Davis, who is probable, but he will play tonight. Jared Vanderbilt, Christian Wood, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Bronny James are all out. So that's where we're sitting when it comes to the injury report. Disregard what you're seeing on the screen there. We had an accidental one, an old one pop up. We're in good hands tonight.
Just to remind you of what you were missing before. Didn't that injury
Exactly.
report scare you?
It did, but don't worry. They're back. We promise. We wouldn't lie to you like that one.
But, Steven, we need you to break it down. How bad are the Lakers without Bronny? Like, you've watched the tape, so.
Well,
I mean the South Bay Lakers.
I was about to ask, because this team is not going to be any different than what you've been seeing so far this season.
So here's the thing. With Brad and KD, Coach Bud pregame did allude to the fact that they will be on a minutes restriction tonight. He said that they just need to be smart, logical, and sensible with it, and that their long-term health for their group, they've got to keep that in mind when they think about how much they're going to play them tonight. And they also have to keep in mind, Eric, like you said, it's the first night of a back-to-back. They're back from injury and jumping right back into the thick of it with a game against the Lakers tonight and another one tomorrow.
But on top of that, it's an NBA Cup game. So every single point matters, even if you're up 15 or 20, especially because they don't have a great record in the NBA Cup so far. You might want to, still put your foot on the gas a little bit. But I feel like, and I mean, I hope this is true, Steven, that long-term health overtakes NBA Cup blowout.
God, I hope so.
I mean, it might, but these teams are heavily invested. If it wasn't apparent last season, it should be doubled down on that this season. These teams care about it, especially the veteran teams. They're looking at it as an opportunity to test the temperature for where they desire to be come April and May and hopefully June. So I don't think they're going to be taking this lightly. Unfortunately, that might come at the cost of any type of minutes. I won't say restriction, but putting KD's minutes in a box in a sense.
I hate the point differential.
Really?
It is going to lead to somebody getting seriously hurt because teams are dicking around when they're up 11-12 or down 11-12 and trying to nip at these leads. Even if it's 20, teams are pulling this and keeping starters in. I hate the fact that it will lead to a serious injury, and I just hope it's not on the Suns side when that happens, because if you lose anybody for significant time because you care about a stupid point differential in the Emirates NBA Cup, can't stand it. I hate it.
It's tough because it's like quite literally the same argument that a player would use against the All-Star game too.
Yeah.
They're trying to get hurt playing something that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
I agree.
You know what?
Who cares?
Though? I will say, here's the deal though. Okay. Point differential, right? If you want to pull your starters, those guys at the end of the bench have even more to play for in this one, because if they win the cup, that's a little paycheck, a little bump for them. So they should play even harder if they end up in garbage time minutes during one of these games.
Yeah,
right?
The problem is I don't want to see Bull going up against AD either. If
but I'm saying if everyone collectively made that the thing.
Your bench guy. Here, guys, go earn your money. I'd love that.
I know,
take that mentality.
I didn't mean it to be rude.
You want to double your salary? Guy that sits on the end of the bench, here's your chance.
Start starting the people who come off the bench. Just put the money on the line.
Transonic said, doesn't the point differential matter more in the next round? It matters now because that's how you can get to the next round, basically.
Next round is knockout,
yes.
so you lose your act.
Next round is knockout. Right now in the group play, it goes based off of seeding, which we actually have kind of a little bit of a standings update from where the NBA shared earlier today about the Suns group play that we can show you guys here in just a second. But it starts with your win-loss record, of course, but then the first tiebreaker is point differential, and then there's a few additional tiebreakers after that. So that this is where it does matter. So we're technically fourth in our group right now, -8 on the differential.
Take that, Utah Jazz.
Yeah, so I don't really know. I don't really care about
I kind
the
of
NBA
like the
Cup right
point
now.
differential, though. I feel like it's interesting. Obviously, if there's any injury, then there's an injury. But I'm just going to operate in a space where I'm not even going to put that in the air. I think it's fun. Play till the end. I feel like they might actually incorporate something like that overall in the regular season going forward.
No, they won't. It's stupid. Anything that you're taking from soccer is a bad idea in the first place, and it is going to lead to something negative in the long run.
I guess we'll find out. I don't know. But I am excited to see what the orange court looks like on TV, because in pictures, it looks really great. On TV, though, who knows? I know JJ Redick said before the game he's just thankful that they haven't played on a red court this season. And I am glad that we also have not had to watch a full game on a red court this season, because those ones are really tough.
Minnesota's the worst one.
Yeah, they're tough.
Looks like a green screen.
Okay,
we could green screen Steven's head in the middle of their court. That's what it looks like.
Let's do it. Why not? We can have a little fun with these NBA courts. So KD and Beal are back. Kevin Durant did speak to the media pregame today, and he spoke about the recovery process and when he actually originally injured his calf.
It was good. I mean, put in a lot of work, stacked some good days up, and was able to, get back on the court. That 5-day break definitely helped as well, so I was grateful for that. I'm looking forward to getting back out there.
Was there a specific play where you kind of tweaked it, or just a gradual thing?
I think it was when I jumped to grab a rebound in the Dallas game, that last game I played in the third quarter. Kind of came down. When I landed, that's when I felt a little pull. It wasn't something that would keep me out the game because I kept playing, but it was just a little pull, a little awareness. I knew something was there,
That's a little alarming, but at the same time, given the time that he was conceded off and kind of his tenor while he was speaking, it kind of helped to bring things down just a little bit. Hoping for a solid stint of sustained health, because Lord knows Devin Booker has been praying for it the last handful of weeks.
Yeah, any health would be good health at this point.
I think this is just another reason to hate the Mavs, right?
Well, of
Just
course.
add it to the list.
Yeah. Get stuffed, Dallas, and never forget.
and you never know, with Book, when you have to carry so much on your own, like we were talking about Kevin Durant through the first stretch of the season, playing so many minutes, eventually that leads to some sort of minor injury. If Book had to deal with this for another week or didn't get this 5-6 day break, then you might be looking at him and somebody who's had lower body injuries, be like, is he carrying too much? But I feel like, they're being extra cautious with this, and with KD, he had the same injury during the Olympics, and I feel like he was extra cautious then, and he came back ripping. So I'm not too worried unless this is something where it's like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. But we aren't there yet, so hopefully we don't get there.
And I know over this 5-day break, Coach Bud and talked about KD's minutes, and he's technically on a minutes restriction here in this one. I know JJ Redick also, when he was told about the quote unquote minutes restriction for KD and Beal, he's like, yeah, we'll see if that's real or not. Depends on how the game is going. But let's be honest, that's how it always ends up being. If they don't tell you the exact minute in pregame, that means it's like, we're just going to play it by ear. But grand picture here, we have talked a lot about KD's minutes in all of these games so far this season and keeping an eye on them. He was also asked pregame whether he is aware of his minutes during games or if it's more of a, I'm just playing and I come in and out when I come in and out.
Yeah, I just try to play the game. Love how Coach subs the game. He doesn't try to predetermine his rotations. And if we handle games early, I probably won't play a lot of minutes. You know, if we're in a tight game, then expect me to be out there on the floor. You know, so it depends on how we play as a unit. Got to keep my minutes down. But I think Coach has been doing a good job of just trying to figure it out. But when the game needs your starters and your best players out on the floor, you know, I want to be in there. You know, so I'm 36. I don't know how much time I got left, so I want to be out there as much as I can.
There are like two different types of players. There's like a player that always is staring at the box score, trying to figure out exactly what they're doing and everything. I feel like Kevin Durant does not look at any piece of paper, any box score, anything at all, except for, hey, maybe watch some film like we saw with Bull during games. Like if you said, hey, KD, you played 34 versus 38 minutes tonight, I don't think that's something that's going in his head. I think he just goes out there and plays basketball at the highest level and then thinks about the rest of it later.
It's about usage, though, right, Steven? It's not necessarily about the number of minutes. It's about how he's being used in said minutes. Is Tyus Jones handling the ball? Do they have KD sometimes more off in the corner, running some actions, but not being the main focal point? So it's not a lot of heavy use like we saw last year, right?
Yeah, that's a balance, and that's the template for having a big three. You can facilitate to the other two of that big three and let one of them rest or literally rest by being on the bench and, you know, conserving their energy for either later in the season or later on in that specific game. That's an important part I think Bud has to figure out within it all. But you can't blame him when Kevin Durant's been a top 5 MVP candidate when healthy this season, you know?
Yeah.
I'm glad that Katie actually said this, though, because I know this has been a huge topic and a lot of people are like, yeah, Bud is known for playing his stars heavy minutes, though, even though he's also kind of known for being very acutely aware of how many minutes his stars are playing. It's like, how do you have both here? But it does point out to the fact that there is a balance. Like, even if Bud was like, hey, Katie, I'd love for you to take a step back, it's also Kevin Durant. And he, like he said, I'm 36. I don't know how much time I have left. I want to be out there playing. So you know that even though if they're having these conversations, Katie is telling him, like, if I'm good, I'm good. Put me in, coach. I'm ready.
And it's not charity work. It's not like Make-A-Wish. It's, hey, coach, I'm one of the best, if not the best player in the clutch that this league has to offer right now. And I don't look any different than I did minute 1 in this game. So it's not like, man, I just got to put KD out there because, you know, respect for him. He wants to play. It's, no, that's the best player on the court, and we need to put him out there to win this game. And he looks like he's completely capable of doing it. So it's like a catch-22. You don't want to play him till the wheels fall off, but he looks perfect until the wheels fall off.
Well, I mean, it's not like he's like Bud's Tom Thibodeau and playing these guys 47 minutes a game. I mean, I think 36, 38 minutes is understandable when it's Kevin Durant, when it's Devin Booker, when it's Bradley Beal. If I'm investing that much money, I get it. You're 36, but, you know, go out there and do it, right? And if I mean, he had his healthiest season in a long time last year, and he played significant minutes. If injuries keep being persistent with him, fine. Dial back those minutes. But if it's not, play him and go out there and play the way that you need to win, which I think was his point. Don't care how many minutes it is, as long as we get the W. So if it's 26 and we get the W because we blew them out, great. If it's 40 and we win by 1, great. I think that's got to be the mentality.
What a luxury it is for a coach to have your best player be someone that could care less about their minutes total, but it's also never a negative impact on either side of the ball, regardless of who you're going against. If it's the second night of a back-to-back on the road, or if you're at home, or if it's playoffs, whatever. You just give them the ball, you just put them on the court, and positive things are going to happen.
Yeah, it's not like it's a tough decision to have Kevin Durant on the court. You know?
Absolutely not. So with KD and Beal being back, Coach Bud obviously spoke about what they provide for the Suns, and then also Bradley Beal's leadership.
Yeah, no, I mean, both those guys are such great players. Kevin and, his just gravity away from the ball. You see it when you watch film, and he cannot be involved in something, and he's just going to be closely guarded all the time. And so that creates just kind of obvious space for the other four guys that are playing that, when you have that type of elite shooting, it just creates more space for the other four guys on the court. And Brad's, I think, ability to attack and beat people off the dribble and get to the paint, get to the rim, finish. They're just three great players, and you got to have guys that can guard all three of them. And they're all able to kind of do things individually. They're able to do things with their teammates. So their skills and what they bring to the table is, I think, pretty obvious. But I think Brad's leadership, when you got someone like him that is joining and his voice is there and, affirming all the things we're working on and believe in and, really buying in, it's very impactful.
Surprisingly enough, head coach of the Phoenix Suns understands how important two of his best players are and how much you miss them. And if you don't want to take Mike Budenholzer's word, maybe you could take a look at the numbers. Espo and I compiled some numbers. Sorry, not a big numbers guy. That kind of scared me. The Suns with KD and Beal and without KD and Beal. So let's go down on the good side first. So with KD and Beal, a record of 6-1, 113 points per game, 47.8% from the field, 37.6% from three, offensive rating of 114.6, defensive rating of 112.9. Then you go to without KD and Beal. That 6-1 turns into 0-5. 113 goes to 105. You drop down 5% shooting from the field at 42.6%. Drop down a cool 4% from three at 33.2%. And then offensive rating drops to 105.1. Defensive rating skyrockets over double digits, 123.5. Clearly, in either words or numbers, Suns better with 2 out of 3 of the big three rather than missing 2 out of 3, Steven.
I mean, I would hope that was obvious before we saw the numbers. Yeah, the numbers.
Do you disagree, Steven?
I don't disagree at all. I think that was rather obvious, and I'm hoping that people will start to value all of the players in the big three past just their names because of what they serve in terms of purpose to this team and what they're trying to work towards.
I was on Outside Shots yesterday hosting, and Eddie Johnson brought up a really good, interesting point where he said, when you look at Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal's offense and how it makes things easier on offense and it flows, it actually makes the defense easier as well. Mm-hmm. Easier to get back, easier to be in tandem or as a unit, and that fuels both ends of the court. And I think people didn't take that into account, the impact those two guys have defensively in terms of going the way the offense shifts into the defense and what they both can do as singular defenders as well. And that's what I think hurt this team so tremendously was you lost that identity on that side of the floor and it became harder to shoot as well. So hopefully this looks a lot different tonight as we saw, obviously much better, but you keep saying big three, and our friend Nacho in the chat doesn't like that term. So I'm going to make a suggestion.
No.
We call them Tres Gigantes the rest of the way, just to make Nacho feel better.
No, I'm not playing that game. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not going to pander to what Nacho
roll
wants.
The tongue as easily as big three.
You don't like Tres Gigantes.
I like it. I feel like I'm going to stumble over it 17 times a night, though.
I like it, but I don't want to bend to King Nacho's
I'm
will.
not bending. I just actually think it's more fun to say.
That's fair.
I support you saying it, though. I do.
Tres Gigantes.
I will say, are you guys concerned at all about just kind of, not really like chemistry per se, but just the smoothness in what we might or might not see from the Suns tonight? Because it has been a minute since KD and Beal have both been out there. And then also we had this random 5-day break in the middle of the season, which Bud was talking about in his 30 years. He doesn't think he's ever seen a 5-day break of no games whatsoever during a season for a team. Are there going to be a little bit of just bumps in the road as we get back into all of this?
I think you're going to see your normal, it's the first month of the season, or we're just exiting the first month of the season and a team is still playing together. There might be some miscommunications and there might be, some missed passes here and there. But I mentioned it earlier, Kevin Durant plugged right into Team USA coming off of an injury, which is a lot more star power, a lot harder of a role to fill as far as like what is actually your defined role, where today you go in and you say, okay, we know what Kevin Durant's going to do. Same thing with Bradley Beal. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but maybe one of you two disagrees.
I think they'll look sharp. I mean, they've had 5 days where there's practices, right? And that's a rare thing that you get in the NBA where these guys can actually work together, run some 5-on-5 and really focus on things that they need to work on. I don't think there's going to be necessarily a rhythm problem outside of maybe it takes KD and Beal a few shots to get back to normal just because they haven't been out there for a while. But I don't think we see a huge rhythm problem.
Look at quarterbacks in the NFL, and a lot of quarterbacks you could say will be good with anybody. I think Kevin Durant is one of the basketball players that it doesn't matter who he's on the court with. If he's healthy, things are going to run a certain way because of the gravity he has when he's off the ball, and also when he has it, the attention that comes with it too. I think there might be some clunkiness in terms of reintegrating Bradley Beal because his role was never definite to begin with. And I think that also doubles down because they're still trying to figure out how to feature Devin Booker consistently as well. So I think there'll be some kind of back and forth with that. Shots might not fall, to your point, to the extent that they will after the first quarter. But I think after that first quarter, once they break a sweat, they get their first shift in, get up and down the court a little bit, they'll be fine on offense. But defensively is where I'm really focusing on things because, as I've spoken to, they have to be at a certain level to be where they desire to be long-term. They haven't had any chemistry building on that side of the ball. And things were not pretty with the players that were available over the last 2 weeks as well. So there's going to be a certain accountability I feel that Mike Budenholzer is going to challenge them with on that end.
I kind of wonder, though, if one of the factors that will make the defense better is you're not asking a Ryan Dunn or a Josh Okogie to carry much of an offensive load in this situation where they were with those guys out. They obviously had to try to step up more offensively. So I wonder if those defensive guys being able to defensively be locked in helps on that end.
Well, and you can turn to those guys when you need to versus, like you said, the whole entire game relies on their defensive efforts. You have options now.
Does Josh Okogie play?
Great
Absolutely.
question.
Oh, I think he's going to get some run. He earned it, while they were out.
Yeah, I just wrote about him on Go PHNX today for those that didn't get a chance to check it out. But he's led the team in deflections and almost in steals, and he's not played that many minutes over the last 2 weeks since he came back, which was the same game that Kevin Durant got injured in. He's earned his minutes. He's punched way out of his proverbial weight class in terms of his team role when everybody was out. He scored. He's played great defense. The activity levels ramp up, and the competition bar raises as well.
Yeah.
All right, before we continue this conversation, I do have some exciting things to tell you. Speaking of GoPHNX.com, our Black Friday sale is live for diehards right now. That's right, diehards. Get early access to the Black Friday deals. If you want to get early access to the sale as well, you can become a diehard today. It's an opportunity to grab your favorite stuff before it sells out, and all the info that diehards need to take advantage of their early access will be in your emails and in the diehard only Discord. So don't miss out. Now's a great time to stock up on all your favorite merch for your favorite Arizona team.
And there's some new merch if you look closely.
Ooh.
Including custom branded bills.
Exciting times.
Forks
Let's
up.
go PHNX.com one more time. All right, Espo, what are the guys wearing in this one? We know they're playing on an orange court. But
We're getting the black jerseys here with the PHX on it and the Valley gradient pattern as well. Love them, and they'll look great on that court. And then you got the fake purple that the Lakers rock, whatever the hell that crap is, with the white, which is just a waste of jersey space.
The Suns jerseys are still missing the N, and that bothers me.
Well, true.
Well, that's our thing.
One day.
True, but then we'd have to sue them, and I don't really want to sue the Suns.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for the pub. We've earned it.
Fair enough.
Who you guys got tonight, and by how much? How are we really feeling?
Ooh, we're all feeling good.
Okay.
But Lindsay, you and I are feeling the least good, apparently. We both have Suns by 5.
I mean, we split the season series, and the game we did didn't we win by like 3 or 4?
Yeah.
Something like that. So
We were up 20 in one and down 20 in the other. And
that's true.
remember which one we won and lost.
I'm just, a little cautiously optimistic.
You're at home. It's the Cup. Katie and Beal are back. The Tres Gigantes is together, kicking down the door today. 12-point Suns win.
There should be a certain vibe in the arena with the team being back healthy. Obviously, the Lakers being a short rock skip away, their fans travel well. Should be a lot of energy. And it's an NBA Cup game, so the stakes are a little higher than any regular season game would be.
Yes. Nacho has Suns by 3. Richard has Suns by 9. So, and then Damari said the game we lost was winnable. We were just new.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
They were up 20.
Definitely
was
winnable.
Yeah.
But I did win my bet that day because Bet365 does that early payout. I took the money line for the Suns. And if you go up 20, you still get a W. So shout out to my friends at Bet365. Speaking of them, Steven, what is the money line and the spread looking like for this game?
Well, they have the Suns favorited in tonight's game. Obviously, in light of the news that the team is back healthy, they have them at a minus 140 on the money line and a minus 2.5 on the spread. And on the other side of things for the Lakers, who are coming off a game where they're going to be looking to get back right after they got it handed to them from DNVR and their team that they cover over there. They're plus 120 on the money line and a plus 2.5 on their side of the spread.
Yeah, I just try to play the game.
And that's it.
Just kidding. We're
Goodbye,
back.
everybody.
Just kidding. We tricked you. Early April Fools. Okay, it's time for our pregame picks.
Really
presented
early
by
April Fools.
Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use the code PHNX365 when you sign up and find out why, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Eric, what are you rolling with on this one?
All right, go big or go home. I'm going Tres
home.
Gigantes. Bradley Beal, 22.5 PRA. Devin Booker, 35.5 PRA. Kevin Durant, 30.5 PRA. I do not believe that it's going to be a tight minutes restriction on Beal or Durant. I think they're just not going to play tomorrow. And then I have LeBron James over half a block. All of that coming in at plus 2,200. Surprisingly, the LeBron over a block really vaulted this. He always seems to just swat the living daylights out of somebody whenever he plays the Suns. So I'm betting on that.
I really hate Eric's bets because he's
What did I do?
he's making me go, come on, man. That's kind of a big swing there. That's a lot. Like,
Do you know how far
that's
down
how
I
I
am?
played. That's how I played this game, and even I'm like, I'm a little skeptical.
I feel like
It's
Eric
PRA.
and Steven are both in
Steven's
that
way
bucket.
more in that boat than I am. I've taken like two
y'all's
like parlays.
bets, your bets are like, okay, yeah, but also that's a lot. Right, Steven? Just like yours tonight?
Well, Noah, we can go ahead and speak to mine.
Yeah, see, that's way crazier than
I
mine.
have LeBron at over 8.5 assists for this one. Obviously, him being a person that stirs the drink for the Lakers, he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. JJ Redick's been leaning into his playmaking a whole lot more. In addition to that, I see Tyus Jones also having 6.5 or more. I think that with the big three being back, is going to naturally put him in a position to get more assists and kind of set the table for those three. Anthony Davis has his way against the Suns. I think we saw that in their last matchup. I think that he goes for over on the 40.5 points and rebounds. He's averaging that and then some on the season. I also have Anthony Davis at 2.5 or plus 2.5 stocks. He's a stock machine, a stocking stuffer, if you will. And he's just getting the job
holiday humor, baby.
He's just getting the job done. Arguably one of the top 3 candidates for Defensive Player of the Year so far. I think Josh Okogie at over basically 1 steal or block is a gimme. And then the other big one with Austin Reeves, he loves going against the Suns for whatever reason. And I think he's gonna get the points and the assists over 21.5.
Jeez, your betting cornucopia runneth over. I mean,
Sheesh. Aspa, what you got?
I went simple. Devin Booker, first back bucket, because I stand by the fact that I think the Phoenix Suns need to follow that baseball mindset. Devin Booker's your starter. Get him going early. Bradley Beal's the guy that fills in as that middle reliever when one of the two isn't on the court. And Kevin Durant is your closer. No, I'm not saying the other guys don't get touches, but I'm just saying the recipe for success, get Devin Booker going early, let Kevin Durant close it out. And I think they'll do that with Book getting the first bucket.
All right, I'm not mad at that one. You and I will both find out early on if our bets hit or not, because mine is all first quarter base. It's super simple. LeBron and KD both to have 5 or more points in the first quarter at a plus 190. So they had Bet365 had this and Book in there at 5 in the first quarter, as well as a boosted parlay. I think you could get it for like $340 or something like that, $350 or something. So I kind of modified it to take a little bit of an easier route, but plus 190. I'm rolling with it.
They both are old men. It's an 8 o'clock start, so they'll have to get everything done early.
Is it an 8 o'clock start?
Yeah.
It is.
What do we think? Would you guys want to
it is.
guess?
8:20.
8:20. What do you think?
True. This is a TNT game, so I'm gonna go 8:24 is when this thing will actually tip off.
Well, that would be very Kobe of
What are you thinking,
I
Lindsay?
think it's 8:16.
I was gonna say 8:18.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out. Somebody has to remember what we guessed.
I said 8:20.
I already forgot.
8:24, 8:20, 8:18,
18.
8:16,
Yeah.
something like that. All right. Well, before we move too far along from our bets, what does the leaderboard look like? Because I think we didn't update us last time. Ooh, buddy, Espo, you got a whole whopping $15. I've got a whole whopping $1.93. Eric, you are minus 115, and Steven, you are minus $141.67.
I got a phone number for you guys.
Yes, here it is.
Oh,
You must be
neither.
21 or
I
older. This is
already-
located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov. I don't know if the helpline will help you make better bets or not.
Could you imagine?
No,
That's
it'll
why you
just take
called him?
away their access to
BC.
doing it.
What the heck? BC's my guy. Says Eric's terrible. I'm not even in last place. No shade, but I'm not
That's
even in last
crazy.
place.
You know, you just gotta add some intrigue to this whole thing. Holla at me at the end of the season.
Yeah.
It's a marathon.
Don't worry, I will when I'm on the top,
No, I'm
holding the
gonna win this
championship
one.
belt yet
Steven,
again.
I am winning this year.
Both of us are hitting tonight.
I'm winning this year.
I'm calling that. We're
I
both
believe
hitting
it.
our bets
I believe
tonight.
it.
Come back to the post-game show to find out whether or not Eric or Steven got a W, but don't hold your breath. Thank you guys for joining us for the pregame show. And another quick reminder, be here after the game wraps up for the post-game show. Okay, bye.
We all silly like the mayor.